Mess starts off loud and wild. Mr. Dark says Ms. Bailey is a cheater, and now she wants him to be the dad. She says he is the dad and needs to step up.
You say the defendant is a promiscuous liar who broke your heart 4 years ago, stepping out on your then relationship. You admit to having a one-night stand with her 2 years ago, but are furious. Ms. Bailey is now claiming you fathered her 11-month-old son, which you say is impossible.
Dark finds out Ms. Bailey cheated while he was at work. Her best friend told on her like it was a school fight. Ms. Bailey says she only cheated because she thought he did first.
But when I come back, she was doing her best friend's hair at the house. When I left out of the door to go to the store, her best friend came running out of the door to like, hey, Terrence, wait up for a second, I'm gonna go to the store with you. So, I thought that was kind of strange, like, why? We went on to the store, but while we was going to the store, her friend started to tell me a story. She was like, well, I just want to tell you something. She was like, well, the whole time that you was gone, she was cheating on you.
Her best friend told you that?
This is what her best friend told me.
Even though they broke up, they still met up to hang out. And yep, they were still doing the grown-up stuff. Nobody used protection, so now there's a maybe baby problem.
We never stopped dealing with each other along the way. Even though we separated, we still occasionally seen each other every 2 months, 3 months or so. We still seen each other occasionally.
Seen each other and had sex, or
Yes,
just seen each other
still
and
was
said
having
hello?
unprotected sex sometimes, yes, ma'am.
You kept having sex until
2016.
It was like early March.
you have sex and you didn't use protection?
No.
ma'am.
The baby was made in February, but he says they didn't do anything until March. Mr. Dark says there's no way he's the dad. The judge starts doing math like it's a school quiz.
If Jameer's birth date is November 13, 2016, then the conception window would be February 17th, February 24th, 2016.
Right.
And you said
But
you all weren't intimate until March.
Yes, ma'am. And she
I
had
had
early.
him early, like I was due November 30th.
Oh, what, a 30th? Okay.
Yeah.
Ms. Bailey starts crying and says the baby looks just like him. She's scared because she's had baby drama before. She says she knows for sure this time.
What is upsetting you in this moment, Miss Bailey?
Cause
Tell
he
the
know
court.
that it is his son. Like my baby look exactly like him.
It's upsetting you because he's denying him?
Yes. You don't understand. I have
but that's-
3
this
other
is- you
kids
do this
that I
to
take
yourself.
care of by myself.
Right. And you've had this same problem previously.
But I made sure that I wasn't gonna do it again. Like I was gonna be the only person.
Mr. Dark's new girlfriend walks in pregnant too. She says the baby doesn't even look like her baby was made the same week Bailey says hers was.
I'm his current girlfriend and I'm pregnant with his
Oh,
child.
nice.
First, in my personal opinion, I don't feel like the baby looks like him. That's just,
So you do not feel like there is a physical resemblance?
no.
What else do you know about the paternity situation?
Well, my due date is November 19th. My conception date is February 24th.
Oh,
Ms. Bailey pulls out text messages like receipts. She says he was still talking to her and trying to meet up. Mr. Dark gets real quiet.
He was calling my phone asking me could he come over and have sex with me.
That's a lie, Your Honor. I got text messages that I done showed to my girl when she wasn't even here, showing with Jessica like, oh, it's just me and Jameer tonight. You want to come watch a movie with us? You want, like, no.
Yeah, so
No.
you can be there for your child. You don't never
I
come
don't have to-
over.
Mr. Dark says he was there for the baby the whole time. He even took the baby to a funeral, but his family didn't believe the baby was his.
I've been a part of his life. I've gotten him. I've taken him with me. I kept him. I took him to Alabama with me when I went to my granny's funeral last month. And my whole
Wow,
family
because
said
of
that
what?
that's not your
A
child.
so
funeral.
when you brought Jameer with you to your family member's funeral,
Yes, ma'am.
your whole family said
whole
to you, that's
family.
not your child.
The whole family. My mama said, boy, if you don't get that baby out of here.
Ms. Bailey says she didn't have parents growing up. She wants her baby to have better. The judge feels for her.
That he step up, that he do for my baby. Like, I don't understand. And I grew up without my parents, so I want him to be there for Jameer. And it was very hard for me. And it was
And
very
you
hard.
do not want that for your son.
No.
Judge says signing the birth paper means you're the dad, even without a DNA test. Mr. Dark looks shook. Now he's legally stuck unless a court says otherwise.
Even if he has not bought him something, he will be buying him things and
That's
paying
right.
child support because you put your name on that birth certificate, and that makes you the legal father. You do
told me.
understand that, right? By signing that birth certificate, you have said to your state, I am acknowledging that I'm the father of this child, which means you're responsible to take care of the child. You're going to be responsible for child support for this
Exactly.
child.
The test comes back, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Dark, you are the father.
This mess started wild like a raccoon in a kitchen. Butterfield brings Bracknell to court to prove he's baby Kara's dad. Judge is already raising her eyebrow.
Mr. Butterfield, you've summoned your ex-girlfriend, Ms. Bracknell, to paternity court to prove that you are are the father of her 2-month-old daughter, Cara. You say she's denying you are Cara's dad because she's worried her family will be torn apart when the results prove you are the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
This was a weird way to say you're a dad. She said thanks for the gift after the breakup, and turns out it was a baby. Man's face looked like he just stepped on Lego.
She had told me when we were breaking up, she said, thank you for the gift. And I said, what gift was that?
And then when you found that out, you thought to yourself, was that the gift?
The baby?
Yeah, you thought
My daughter, yes.
That's what you thought.
Yes,
When she said thank you for the gift, you said, oh, that's what she was talking about.
Yes, Your Honor.
Butterfield says she hid the baby longer than a bad report card. Some other dude cut the cord while he sat at home. He's big mad and ready to throw emotional chairs.
And wasn't there for her to be born. Yeah, some other guy got to cut her umbilical cord. Yeah, that's fine. Make me out to be the jerk, whatever. I'm here today.
This now?
You I want to be here.
Then you went back in a relationship with Mr. Dallas.
Yes.
And you have 3 other children together.
Yes, we do.
Bracknell moved on, made a new fam with Mr. Dallas. She says she wasn't pregnant when she left. Butterfield's like, yeah, right, math don't lie.
Now, when you left Mr. Butterfield and went back to Mr. Dallas, you were pregnant at that time. When did you find out you were pregnant?
Honestly, I didn't find out until, say, 3 months after I did move out of his house because I was having irregular periods, so I just let it go for a minute. I'm not really a doctor person.
Dallas brings a calendar like he's Sherlock Holmes. Says the dates prove he's the real dad. Butterfield says, nah, we were still hanging in October.
August, her and Jesse split up. September, we was getting
Together, moved
We
in.
were
So this calendar outlines, so
in the middle of September.
you say Cara was conceived in mid-September and she was born in June. And she ended the relationship with Mr. Butterfield at the end of August.
Butterfield says they were still getting cozy in October. Talks about hills, quickies, and gas money. Whole room gasped like someone farted.
Because honestly, we were sleeping together after that, all the way up until October 8th, the last time we had sex. Because I remember, I can take a lie detector test if you want to prove it.
So you
up in the
said-
mountains, up in the hills. You don't remember that, right? You remember, right? Asking me for money for gas so you can go see him.
Yeah, I so asked you for much.
So although these dates may be true, they are missing.
Yeah.
Dallas says Cara is his baby, no matter what. He cut the cord and gave her his name. Butterfield's like, cool story, but that's my kid.
How many other children together?
We have 4 kids, counting Cara.
4?
No, you have
kids,
3
including
kids.
her.
No,
including,
she is Doug,
No,
so
you have
shush.
3.
You know what, Your Honor? I'm gonna love her the same. She's my little daughter. She's gonna be my little daughter. I'm gonna raise her my life. Change. I love her to death, just like I do now. Before today, I'll love her the same. You know what? With this,
Good, I'm not trying to get her back. I'm just trying to be in my daughter's life.
no, you just have a.
Butterfield says Bracknell hides pregnancies like Snap, accuses her of cheating on his birthday. Judge just sits there sipping tea mentally.
She hid all of her pregnancies. She even hid the one she hid from him.
No,
he wasn't even at
We
youngest
were
son.
split up.
You were
We've
split
had,
up. You
we
hid
went
it from
through, No, I didn't.
Hid it from you, right?
I didn't know when she went into the hospital. Yeah, but you know what? We're over it.
Isn't that hiding it from you?
We're done and over with it.
Pattern. She'll run to him. She'll run to
From
another guy
people
that she cheated on me on my birthday.
I did not cheat on you.
She was gone with her ex on my
Making it
birthday.
dramatic.
Bracknell swears she didn't go back to Butterfield. Says she was only with Dallas. Judge's face says she's heard this 40 times.
When I found out about it, I messaged her mom, let him know I was coming. I blocked, obviously, on their
That you were
Facebook.
coming.
You
Let's
were blocked
explain
me
that text
before
message.
you guys even got to-
5 seconds after I posted that, he texted my mom saying, I'm coming to get that girl. Just all
sure.
threats.
Well, if I wanna
is
be in
pretty
my
much
daughter's
what
life,
happened.
why wouldn't I
Okay,
be?
and there's nothing wrong with that if she is your daughter, but we'll see.
Yes, we were. We'll see right today,
We
won't
will.
we? That's why we're here.
Let's get it done.
Butterfield lists all the baby's parts like he built her. Says the nose, lips, and hair match his. It turns into baby face bingo.
She looks more like me. Even her own family says it. Her own family even tells
They
me.
ain't family.
They look like me. She's got my nose. She's got my lips.
We'll see.
She's got my brown hair.
We'll see.
All her boys are blonde.
So you are convinced, Mr. Butterfield, this is your daughter?
Oh, I'm 100% convinced.
Ms. Bracknell, you say you have no doubt, and Mr. Dallas, you say you have absolutely no doubt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Boom!
Cara's biological father is Mr. Butterfield.
What did I tell you?
It's fake.
What did I tell you?
This starts out super messy real fast. Hilburn says she's in a love triangle, points at Barnes like, you're the dad. Barnes is like, girl, I caught you cheat, says he was at the hospital and tried to be on the birth paper. But nope, she's still married to some other guy. Everyone gasped so hard, they almost passed out.
Oh, she's still legally married to someone
Your Honor.
else.
I would want more than anything to actually be her father. I was there. I put the time, the commitment, the love. She's my daughter for all I know.
Hilburn admits she was out, and boom, drama over when she told him about the other guy. She says before the baby was born, he says after. Nobody knows who's telling the truth.
The paper to him and showed that I was pregnant, and he was happy because he wanted to be a father.
Even though she lied before about being pregnant.
I saw the proof this
You saw
time,
the proof,
so I was happy.
and you were happy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Barnes says no.
You told me 2 months after Saray was born.
Told you
That's
2
when
months before
most of the
Saray was
problems
born.
between you and I started dealing with that gorgeous girl right there. I love that girl.
And when I told him, he didn't want to believe that she...
His girlfriend lives with her baby daddy. Judge Lake was so done at this point.
He truly loves me, but he tells me he's in love with his current girlfriend.
One of his family members, and I had to do community service. He was just telling me that I'm beautiful and all this other stuff.
That right there, I don't know. Was he doing that voluntarily, or was he ordered to community service? There's a difference.
He was ordered, but I met him at community service. When we took our lunch break, he came back to the house and we had sex.
They argue if they had bedroom time in April. Jasmine says every day, Quarry says never. Judge looks tired already.
A month or two later, we decided to get back together in the home, but also during when she first became pregnant in April, we were not having sex. I do not remember us having sex at all.
We was having sex every day, like literally, like we was having sex.
That's not true because I was barely there.
No.
Quarry blames diabetes for weak swimmer. A doctor says it's harder, but not impossible. Science lesson over, folks.
I have type 2 diabetes.
She opens up about her tough childhood. She just wants love for her kid.
I just want to prove to him and his family, because his family treats my baby completely different than our first child. Like, when I had him, they didn't post him on their Facebook. They didn't buy him nothing for his birthday. Like, they treat him different. I just want to prove to them, really them. It's not more so him, because I already know who my baby daddy is. And I was in foster care up until I turned 18, and I signed myself out.
DNA test says
it has been determined by this court. Mr. Cohen, you are the father.
right away, this got real messy, real fast. Palmer says Ross is denying her baby, and Ross says she's after his money. The vibe already feels like a family BBQ about to go off.
Ms. Palmer, you opened today's case because the defendant is denying he fathered your 3-month-old son, Jace. You recently met your own father for the first time and refused to have your son grow up without his father like you did.
Ross says they used protection. Palmer yells, nope. She cries because she's raising the baby alone. Judge is trying not to roll her eyes.
You're denying that this baby is yours, Mr. Ross, because you say you used condoms throughout the relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
What was the nature of this relationship?
We were just friends with benefits, Your Honor.
What has it been like raising this child on your own?
It's hard. I raised my daughter by myself, and I never thought I would have to go through this myself, not once again. And it's just like, to deal with this, I feel like I shouldn't have to go through this. I didn't ask for this.
They met at a gas station and smashed the next day. He wanted to be serious, she said. Nope, so he bounced.
I met Jessica in Birmingham, Alabama at a gas station. It was cold outside, she was pumping gas. She had a daughter in the car. So I walked over and asked her, could I pump her gas for her? So she wouldn't have to stand outside in the cold. So I got done pumping the gas, asked her for a number because she was looking good. She asked me what I was doing, asked me if I want to come over. I told her, yeah, go ahead and go over there and get us on real quick. So,
what?
Judge asks if she was with other guys. She says just one before Ross. She swears the baby was made during her time with Ross. It's getting hard to keep up already.
But the month before,
Your Honor,
it
she
was
told me
someone
she was
else.
talking to somebody.
I was talking to someone the previous month, yes. But the month that I met him, no.
So how soon after that did you find out you were pregnant?
And I was telling my friend, I said, something's not right. And she told me to come over, and we're gonna do a pregnancy test. We went to the store, we purchased 4 pregnancy tests. I took 2, both of them came back positive.
She sends a pregnancy pic to Ross by accident and says, oops. She meant to send it to another guy. Ross is confused like a kid in math class.
She sent a picture text message, which was a pregnancy test. I asked her, what's the pregnancy test for? She tells me that it wasn't for me. It was for the other guy she thought was the father of her child.
Wait, what?
Your Honor, I told him that
it
it was someone else. It was a mistake on sending it to him. So once he continued to deny, it's just like, I left it where it was, and I continue with the alleged father.
The first guy isn't the dad, so now she calls Ross. He kinda helps, but still says nope. They start beefing about car seats and baby names.
In the beginning of August, me and the alleged father, we got a DNA test. In the midst of us getting a DNA test and the results came back, I immediately contacted Mr. Ross. I asked him to do a DNA test for me, and he told me that he was not father, and then it's just like got to the point where made the statement of he would help me buy a car seat.
I said I would help buy a
Not
car
only
seat 'cause I
that,
felt
he
bad.
was claiming my son at the time.
She says the baby looks just like him. Ross says no way, and even disses the baby's hair. Judge is tired of this nonsense.
I mean, he used to say that he used to look like him. He always said my son is.
I never said that child looked like me. I mean, I know that child.
I mean, it's obvious my son looked like you. My son has the same lips, same eyes, same ears. My son has short limbs. I'm tall, obviously, Your Honor. With side by side, you would think it's the same exact baby.
No, you wouldn't.
He even told me that my son is not here because my son doesn't have good hair.
She says, take a test or pay up. He says he ain't paying for it. Court turns into a soap opera.
Oh, I know how to handle this. I'm gonna put you on child support. And you know you have not had a DNA test yet.
I mean, that was gonna be the only way that I would have gotten a DNA test was child. So that's the only reason that I told him that I would put him on child.
Because you were dating other people, you were single, you had just gotten out of a relationship, and you weren't ready. Are there any other people besides the other person and Mr. Ross?
No, Your Honor.
Ross says the other guy is his cousin's friend. She says it was just 2 guys, different month. Ross is trying to do the math in his head.
Yeah, she was messing around with more guys because the guy she thought was her father, he actually is my cousin's friend, and I actually know the guy.
I didn't know they knew each other.
So
Guess
of
what?
course he told me everything. I wasn't.
He didn't tell him anything because I got my DNA test. That was it.
But you was cheating on him.
I was not cheating on him.
And it wasn't with me. He told me, he was like, are you the father of Jessica Child? I said, no. I said, well, I'm not either because I took the DNA test.
You are the father.
This whole thing starts wild, like boom. Cheating confession in the first minute. Mr. Muhammad says he's the dad, but Ms. Walton says nope, because she was with another dude all month. And yep, it gets way messier next.
Mr. Muhammad, you are here to prove that you are the father of the defendant's 2-year-old daughter, Brooklyn. You claim the only reason she is denying paternity is because she wants to be in a relationship with the other man.
They live together, but we're both out here cheating like it was a contest. She says the other guy was her cousin. What? Next up, how she pulled off sneaking around.
Okay, the nature of our relationship was Anwar was already having an affair with another woman before he had moved in with me. During that time, while he was having his affair, I was having my affair also.
Oh, so you all were together but both having affairs?
Yes.
No, I wasn't having no affair. We was together. She told me that this gentleman was her cousin.
She said she was at work but was actually at a hotel with not cousin guy. Muhammad's like, she lying. And she's like, well, yeah, kinda. Then she drops the bomb. She was with both dudes at the same time.
Well, what happens is we was sneaking off to the hotel, relations there.
And where were you supposed to be? Where did you tell Mr. Muhammad you were?
Work.
I told him I was at work.
All right.
She ain't at work. She ain't at work.
I did, because during my pregnancy, I was working 2 jobs. While Mr. Muhammad wouldn't even helping me with anything.
Why she thinks she at work, she's cheating.
Were you still intimate with Mr. Muhammad during that time as well?
Yes, I was.
Muhammad finds out by looking at her phone while she was knocked out. He finds dirty texts and pictures and is like, wait, your cousin? Just wait till the pregnancy part hits.
The moment I thought that I was pregnant, I texted the guy and I tell him I missed my period. Mr. Muhammad, during that time, who was living with me, got my phone, looked at the text message, and confronted me.
Ain't wrong. What happened was I came home, she sleep, I looked at her phone, I started seeing a full-fledged text message about having sex, all that stuff. Y'all having a full relationship behind my back about this man. Like I said, she told me in the beginning that was a cousin.
She told the side guy she might be pregnant before telling Muhammad anything. He found out from reading texts, not from her. That's cold, and it's about to get weirder.
I grabbed the phone, I started looking at the text message, I see the conversation between her and the gentleman. Basically saying that we having sex, period. Sending pictures back and forth with each other, they sending body part pictures, all that stuff.
How do you find out she's pregnant?
Your Honor, he found out through my cell phone. He's the type to like to go through your cell phone. He even took my cell phone for 2 months.
Muhammad says the baby's his, because she's super smart and poured cereal at one. Judge Lake's like, that's not how DNA works. But he's still yelling, that's my genius kid.
If you look at Brooklyn and look at me, we look alike, similar alike. Everything is alike.
I feel she got more of my features.
Everything alike. She's smart like me. One time, I seen Brooklyn pour cereal at 1 year old, pour cereal on milk. What child do you know that does that one? That's my genes. That's my.
Did you pour? Unfortunately, smarts, they don't make babies.
He says they made the baby in his mom's bath. Yep. She says nope. It was her place, but also she was with both guys that week. So yeah, things are looking sketchy.
It was February 21st in my mama's house, in the bathroom. We was in the mood. She go to the bathroom, I go to the bathroom after. That's the date that we have.
Your Honor, I remember us having sex at my house, not his mother's house.
So, Mr. Muhammad, is it your testimony that you conceived your daughter, Brooklyn, in your mother's bathroom on the sink?
Yes, ma'am.
Doctor says she was 8 weeks pregnant, which lines up with all the hookups. She even says she was with the other guy more more than Muhammad. Now it's getting spicy.
I took a pregnancy test a few days after we had, a week after we had sex. The test came out positive. I waited a whole month to go to the doctor. The doctor told me that I was 8 weeks then. So he went back to February 5th.
And then that took you back to the window of time right around February 5th?
Yes.
Which is when you were having sex?
With both of them.
Or
yes.
with both of them?
Yes.
She told the side guy she was pregnant first, and he wanted a fraternity test. LOL. Meanwhile, Muhammad knew nothing. Time to talk last names.
Yes, I told the other guy I was pregnant.
Never told me nothing.
But you didn't tell Mr. Muhammad?
No.
I told Mr. Muhammad after I
lying.
confirmed it with the doctor.
She didn't tell me nothing. She's lying. She said that she never told me anything.
When did you find out she was pregnant?
I found out through my family.
That she was having sex with both men, you and the other man. You weren't using protection with the other man?
No.
You weren't using protection, Mr. Muhammad?
No.
Trifling.
Yup, the other dude has a whole wife. Judge asked, why he not with you? And she said, his wife. This show writes itself.
I ain't gonna lie,
So do you want to be with this other man too?
Yes, Your Honor.
She's trying to make that baby belong to this man. That I don't even know this man.
Have you started that relationship?
No.
Ain't gonna work.
No.
Ain't gonna
Well,
work.
why?
He's married for number one.
Your Honor.
Results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Muhammad, you are the father.
Yes.
Why would you name him Jay Shani when you know that my son is dead? The whole time you were pregnant, you told us you were gonna name that baby Daryl Ray Daniel III.
I don't like my name. Give my son his own name. That's what I did. But not only that, my son's whole name is Jasani Daryl Ray Daniel. Is your son's whole name not in that name? Jasani Daryl Ray Daniel.
My brother's oldest child and only son just died. He just turned 21, died in his birthday month.
And I also called you when you told me that I let you know I had a $700 electric bill and your son needed to go to summer school so that he could graduate on time. So I don't care about your brother's son. You don't care about your own son. Why would I care about your brother's son? Keep it 100.
This whole thing starts like a wild family text fight. Miss Banks says Jada's blaming her dead son for a baby he might not even know. Jada's like, nope, he's the dad for sure.
Ms. Banks, you say the defendant is pinning her baby on your son, Daryl, who was tragically murdered before her child was born. You say Daryl told you he didn't believe he was the father, and you intend to prove that today.
Miss Banks says she and her son were super close and never even knew Jada until the end. She thinks Jada's just another ex, and now she wants proof.
For the simple fact that Jada and my son had a very rocky relationship. Me and my son were really, really close. We talked all the time. He would just call me to tell me that he loved me. I never knew of Jada really until right before my son's death. Jada met my son on Facebook, and she came and moved in with him the same day that she met him.
Jada says it was real love even with all the breakups. She swears the baby is Daryl's and not some other guy's. She says he was happy about the baby.
Daryl and I had a strong relationship. We were on and off. I loved him very much. He loved me very much. When I told him I was pregnant, he wanted me to keep it. We got back together and we started working on it. He was seeing someone else and so was I.
And so if you got pregnant during the time you broke up and you were seeing someone else, could this other person potentially be your child's father?
No.
Miss Banks was like, who even is Jada? When her son told her. She says Jada was living with another guy, and that makes her think the baby's not his.
He came to me, he called me on the phone, and he was like, Mom, Jada's pregnant. And I was like, who is Jada? And he was like, she's my new girlfriend. And I was like, oh, here we go again. My son had a lot of girlfriends. To me, Jada was just another girl that came along. Now she's saying she's pregnant. Of course, Daryl was gonna be like, he wants to have a baby. He comes from a large family. He has 6 brothers and sisters.
Jada says they got back together the day before he died. Banks doesn't believe it, and things get spicy. The yelling gets loud real fast.
I literally got back with Daryl on October 20th, and he passed away October 21st.
And you were the last person to see him.
Correction, I was not the last person to see him.
The
people
murderers
that
were.
did that was the last people to see him.
You're right.
Understand.
She feels like
how
I'm the
painful
reason
this
her
is.
son is dead. That's how she feels.
Now they're yelling about what the baby should be named. One says he hated his name, the other says he wanted it. It's loud and super messy.
Why would you name him Jay Shani when you know that my son is dead? The whole time you were pregnant, you told us you were gonna name that baby Daryl Ray Daniel III.
I don't like my name. Give my son his own name. That's what I did. But not only that, my son's whole name is Jasani Daryl Ray Daniel. Is your son's whole name not in that name? Jasani Daryl Ray Daniel.
Banks bought Jada a plane ticket and waited with balloons. but Jada never came. She says she got scared.
She's young, I have a bunch of kids, I have a house. So I talked to Jada on the phone and I said to her, well, Jada, come on, move to Houston with us. I can help you better if you live close to me. I bought Jada a one-way ticket because you were supposed to be coming. I get to the airport with balloons in my hand, excited because this is all that I have left.
Judge says Jada is young and confused. Miss Banks thinks it means she's hiding something, but maybe she was just freaked out.
All that mouth she got?
That's a lot of
baby.
pressure.
She got a bunch of mouth. She wasn't scared. She wasn't scared. She lied. Look at all that mouth she got. Where you
say she was scared? What I was going to say, Miss Banks, is that at early 20s, you just don't always make the right call.
You don't.
And you don't do things the right way. That's one of the problems when you're that young having babies.
Jada asked for Daryl's social after he died. She says it was for baby benefits. Miss Banks found that super fishy.
How come when after Daryl was dead, she called me on the phone, she asked me for his social security, my son's social security
Wait, this is
number.
after he passed away?
Yeah.
By law, if a mother goes down to welfare and file for welfare and get on assistance, the father automatically goes on child support. I explained to them that Daryl passed away. They said, give us his social, we're gonna run it anyway and find his death certificate.
Miss Banks hasn't seen the baby at all. She only sent a locket and some baby clothes. She's hurt, but still cares.
She did one thing for Jasani when he was a couple months old. Ordered him some clothes and sent it with a lock with Daryl's ashes in. Why are you doing that if you don't feel like it's your grandchild?
Once Daryl passed away, this was the last thing that I had. But I'm so sick of you. Every time you get pissed, telling me who I cannot see. So I looked it up and I found out that I have grandparents' rights and I don't have to kiss.
Banks cries and says this baby might be all she has left of Daryl. Even if she doubted, she still wanted to love him. She just needed to know.
So you do really hope, and that's why, despite the doubt, you still sent the ashes, you sent the clothes.
Yes, if I didn't like her, there was nowhere she was gonna be. Never be at my house. What I wanna do, Your Honor, is I wanna find out if this is my child. So then I'm gonna have a different attitude toward this little girl.
Okay.
The test says.
Between Miss LaWinda Banks and Jasani Daniel is 99.99%. You are related.
This thing starts off with big drama. Miss Hooker says her baby belongs to Keyshawn, who passed away. She wants the truth and an apology, like right now.
You are here with your mother because you say the defendant's son, Mr. Abraham, fathered your 10-month-old daughter, Kanaya. You say that Ms. Baker and her family's public denial of this child has caused you pain, and you are here for an apology and to prove her son is the father.
Keyshawn's mom says he didn't think the baby was his. She promised to get a test. She says she isn't trying to be mean, just keeping her word.
Ms. Baker, you and your daughter are here today to represent your son, Mr. Abraham, because tragically, he was killed 3 months after the birth of this child. You say that before his death, your son expressed great doubt that he was the father of Miss Hooker's baby, and you are here to put the lies to rest.
Miss Hooker is super upset. She says people treat her like she did something wrong. She's tired of the mean looks.
I'm just sad sometimes. I try to deal with it now. Like, I really don't care no more. That's how I feel. I don't care anymore. I don't care who feel nothing about my baby. I don't care. It just seemed like everybody else was looking upside my head like I'm an animal. Like, every time I'm sitting down doing something, they looking at me like I'm just outcast of the group. She looked like me, so why is a problem? That's why I just say I don't care about nothing.
Her mom jumps in like a lion. She says the family keeps calling the baby fat. She's not having it.
Can I jump in? It's not that she don't care. Her feelings been hurt, so she hold a guard up. It's not Miss Baker who denies Kenaya. It's her family who makes my daughter. She was too fat to be his baby. She fat like them, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff. Never from Miss Baker. It's always her who always have something to say about my grandbaby. My daughter's feelings have been hurt.
Ms. Baker says Keyshawn heard rumors. He wanted a test, but never got the chance. She's crying a lot.
My son was on vacation. We kept hearing that Denia was pregnant, but then when we finally found out for sure, he told me, he said he wasn't the only boy that had messed with Denia. And he made me promise that we was gonna get a blood test, and things didn't go the way we thought they were gonna go, and now we're here.
Miss Hooker says nope, no other guy. She says people can't tell her what she did. She says Keyshawn only doubted the baby when they fought.
Was there another guy?
That's why it's funny, because how can somebody tell me who I was sleeping with? Nobody in the room was in the room with me when I was sleeping with somebody. What do I have to lie? Keyshawn told us that he wanted the blood test. Keyshawn only denied the baby when him and my daughter was arguing. Other than that, I have pictures with him laying on her stomach. He had doubt only when he was angry. And I cannot get mad at what he tell his mother or nothing like that.
Keyshawn's sister says seeing the baby makes her sad. She says it's not hate, it's grief. People are just hurting.
I know my mom said something about, she had a birthday dinner, and my mom did tell me, she said something about other people's view of her is just her perception. She has to understand that sometimes it's hard for people to look, for me personally, to look at baby because it's just a reminder that my brother's not here. So it's not about her and her feelings. When she does come around, it is a sense of sadness for me.
Keyshawn got super skinny and scared. His mom told him to be a grown-up. He didn't know what to do.
I was messing with her. He was unsure to the point of where he was just sick. He was worried. He was scared. He lost so much weight. Like I told him, you played grown. Now it's time to be grown. Because if it's your baby, you not finna run and you not.
Him or my family are not those kind of people.
Miss Hooker is mad her baby wasn't in the obituary. She says that hurt her heart bad. The yelling begins.
It's not that she feels some type of way. It's like she more hurt behind the obituary. As Carolyn has explained to her about the obituary, but in her heart, she feel like Miss Bland left her out of the obituary on purpose. That's why she has so much animosity towards Toy.
I just feel like this. Just come back and this is the baby. I don't want her. I don't want no sorries from nobody. Keep your sorries. I don't want no sorries.
I'm not sorry.
Okay? I'm not asking you to.
Shut up.
Hooker says she'll make her own obituary with the baby's name. She wants her daughter to see it one day. That's big heart stuff.
She said one of her family members was in the obituary.
She went and finished up without me. So, Kenaya did get left out. So did my grandmother, and so did one of my sisters.
The percentage of relatedness between Ms. Baker, Mr. Abraham, and Kenaya Abraham is 0%.
And
This courtroom turned into a whole soap opera real quick. Ms. Lester says Mr. Lewis is acting fake now that she won't give him the goods. Then he accuses her of being with a bunch of other dudes like it was a group project.
Ms. Lester, you opened this case against Mr. Lewis because you say he denies fathering your 21-month-old son, Raiden, only because you won't have sex with him. You want Mr. Lewis to step up after today's result prove that he is the father.
Mr. Lewis calls her a hoe, and Judge Lake nearly loses it. She reminds him he was the one sleeping with her. The audience loses their minds, and it's still early.
First, Jatoya is a hoe.
Did I just say use respectful language in the court?
I'm sorry, but that's just what it is.
No. It's not what it's gonna be in this courtroom. And you look crazy because you're the one sleeping with her anyway, so you're not making a point.
Thank you.
You're only making yourself look dumber.
They met on Facebook, and it got messy fast. He said he wanted more than intimate violence, but went to her house that night anyway. She says they even talked about having a baby on purpose.
When I seen her on Facebook, I inboxed her. All guys want to do is have sex. I lied and said no.
He was in a relationship at the time, Your Honor.
That same exact night, I went over her house, we had sex. The very first night, no condom.
He's lying. He wrote me on Facebook in March of 2016. We didn't have sex until August.
Lester tells Lewis she's pregnant, and he hits her with, "Who's the daddy?" Another guy signs the papers and cuts the cord. Judge Lake's face says it all.
She tells me she's pregnant. Then she tells me it's my son. But tells another man it's his son.
He was at the hospital.
At the hospital, he cut the umbilical cord and he signed the birth certificate. So how am I the father?
He sure did.
The birth certificate has a different man's name. Lester says she was tired of chasing Lewis. He ghosted her like a bad Tinder match.
This birth certificate, oh yeah, here it is, from the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Certified record of birth for Raiden Jador. Your father's name is another man's name.
Yes, Your Honor.
You let another man sign the birth certificate when you told Mr. Lewis it was his child?
Yes, I did.
Why?
She already tested another guy and posted the results online. Lewis calls her a freak for that. Even Judge Lake laughs.
Because we did a test and it came back that he was not his father. And he knew that because it was posted on social media. He called me.
Who posts paternity results on social media?
You know why? Excuse my language.
Please say it. Say it.
Lewis says he got shot so much he can't make babies. He swears the kid doesn't look like him. Lester goes, "Yes, he does."
I've been shot multiple times to where the doctors have pumped so much medicine in my body, and they told me that I couldn't have kids at all.
That's why you feel Raiden is not your biological child.
He doesn't even look like me. Just because he's light-skinned, he has none of my features at all.
Lester's fiance, Kevin, says he wasn't around when she got pregnant. Lewis says she tried to smash while Kevin was gone. Chaos erupts.
Mr. Lewis just testified that you and Ms. Lester have had a 10-year relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you've been sexually active with her for those 10 years?
Not at all, Your Honor. When I got in the picture, rating was already, I'd say, 3 to 4 months.
Can't be, what, no, that still doesn't matter, because if you've been 10 years on and off.
Lewis's mom says she loves the baby and cares for him. They treat him like royalty every weekend. Lester cries.
He's been a real joy to me. I've developed this bond with him. He's developed a bond with my family. He's been around all of my family, and they all just love him to death.
And you come and get him every weekend?
Every other week I come and get him. He got clothes and everything at my house.
And you have fallen in love, completely in love?
Totally in love with him.
Lester says she just wants Lewis to be the dad he never had. She owns up to her mistakes. Lewis says if the kid's his, he'll step up.
I just want him to be a father to his son. Claimed that he didn't have a father when he was growing up. I don't want that for my son. Decisions and the mistakes that I've made in the past. All we can do from our mistakes is learn from them and make sure that we don't make them again.
Yes. It has been determined by this court. Mr. Lewis, you are not the father.
This mess starts real loud, real fast. She says he's a terrible dad. He says she's mean. Boom, we're already in full drama mode.
Nazarene, you are here today to sue your ex-boyfriend, Mr. Rami, for being an absentee father and a deadbeat dad. You say he has caused you and your 2 children much pain and suffering by never stepping up as their father.
He says she hit him. She says he stole her money. Something about a broken car and a baby. These two need separate planets.
Complete irrationality. The decision to be overtly angry, volatile, and violent for things that I consider to be less than important. Very verbally and physically abusive.
Absolutely not true. He and I have had one incident where he stole $500 from me and had me and my baby in a car that had a steering column that failed. Okay, so.
She clowns him for only sending $100 sometimes. He says he tries his best. LOL. The crowd is not buying it.
But when I've had a job, I have sent help. Whenever she's hit me up and asked for money,
every once in a while he sent $100. Yes, absolutely. Over the past 17 and 16 years, he paid child support when he was with his ex-second wife.
Okay, so she would have taken my children to Georgia from Los Angeles where we had them. I would have been there.
Okay, so what happened to me being 7 months pregnant with a 1-year-old and you were gone for 3 years?
She said something ice cold about his nephew. The room went silent like in movies. It got real ugly, real fast.
My brother's oldest child and only son just died. He just turned 21, died in his birthday month.
And I also called you when you told me that I let you know I had a $700 electric bill and your son needed to go to summer school so that he could graduate on time. I don't care about your brother's son. You don't care about your own son. Why would I care about your brother's son? Keep it 100.
He calls himself a loser with no shame. Says he never promised to be anything else. Sad and kind of weird.
Oh, I've never tried to act like I was anything other than what I am, which is...
What are you?
A loser?
No, I'm being honest. He says he's being... I want him to tell me.
I am a writer. She made her decision to be with me with that information.
Really?
I've never acted like I was going to go get a job that was going to provide me with a raise and with upward mobility so I can be somebody that's making $100,000 a year.
He says she punched him and trapped him. She says nope, he's lying again. Now it sounds like a soap opera.
Not quite sure how she heard my statement of I'm leaving, but she decided to punch me in the face.
Lie.
After she punched me in the face, the exact quote, I'll never forget it, which was, hit me.
He's a liar.
From your perspective, you're denying all of this.
What I'm saying is, he keeps on starting at bringing the bug back. The bug was freshly painted.
Oh gosh, is this car again?
I'm not talking about the car.
Judge Lake roasts his wannabe rapper life. Says kids need food, not rhymes. Everyone claps and he just stands there.
I don't want to see the day the father of my child tries to come up short for my baby. It's not going to happen. If there's anything that's going to infuriate a mother, it's for somebody to give a mediocre effort. You got to respect that. Is that you can stand there. I never promised her anything. I'm a writer.
Their daughter is embarrassed, and who can blame her? Her dad won't get a job. Oof, major cringe.
He just, in my opinion, doesn't feel like this man loves or cares for him or his sister. And then my daughter said she's embarrassed that her father refuses to work. Him and I having a friendship, never gonna happen because he's a liar, he's a manipulator, and he thought that he was gonna come to my city where I was born, defame me. And all you're doing is making yourself look like a fool.
You two don't have to be friendly. Best for you two to have.
Never, ever.
Judge finally makes her ask when he's visiting. He says, tomorrow. Everyone holds their breath.
When can you visit with your kid?
As soon as possible, which will probably happen tomorrow.
allow it.
If
so
she
you might
allows
want to
it.
make some arrangements.
This is what I've had to deal with this whole
Oh,
time.
absolutely. Those are my children,
What
and
I've
I
had to
take
deal with
care
the
of
whole
them.
time.
Oh, please, you're a
did
liar.
you?
I brought
Including
those children
phone
to you
calls.
every other
Including
weekend.
phone
You just, you're lying. I brought them to you every other
Miss
weekend and brought
Nazarene.
food because you couldn't even feed them.
Right away, this court is buzzing like a beehive. Judge says the mom hid a big secret for 29 years. Just wait, because her son's about to come in hot.
Miss Moore, your son has brought you to court today, but asked to have some time alone with me before he enters the courtroom to present his case against you. You haven't seen your son since a lifelong secret became exposed just 2 months ago. The court has already issued a paternity test, and those results will be revealed today.
Early tells us he heard stuff when he was 9. He asked his mom if Maurice was his dad, and she said yup every time. But mom says she never got asked, so it's about to get messy.
It started around like I was 9 years old. I kept hearing rumors from outside family members that Maurice might not be my father or I might not be his son. I asked, but I always get the same results. For a long time, I got the same results.
Your Honor, he never asked me.
I
would have told him.
and told her, came to her and asked her. She always told me, Maurice is your father.
At the store, a cousin acts super weird about Erle's dad. Erle tries to prove it with a phone call, but the guy bails quick. That's when Erle knew something smelled fishy.
I went to the corner store, just, something to eat. I seen another family member of mine. He asked me how my father was. I told him he's doing fine. You want to talk to him? He said yes. So I went in my pocket, brought my phone out, called him right there on the spot. As soon as he got on the phone, he said, oh, my bad, I got the wrong number. So he gave me back the phone. So I stood back. We had a little awkward moment, like.
Mom says Maurice raised Erle and loved him like his own. She didn't want to mess up a good thing, but now it's coming out whether she likes it or not.
He came into town. I didn't even know my son was coming into town. He came out with it. I told him, I don't know. Had he asked me at 9, he graduated, yes, I still would have told him, but I would have still said, don't tell your grandmother. I went to Maurice. I asked Maurice, don't you think it's about time we let Earl know? No, leave it alone. I'm here now. I'm going to be here. He's my son.
Mom was with 2 guys in like 2 days. As Erle grew up, he didn't look like Maurice. That made Mom's brain go, uh-oh.
Dating.
There may be another man involved, yes.
And how do you have this doubt?
In a very short time frame, like maybe 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
And then it became more doubtful as Earl started growing, and I noticed the difference.
So this has been a painful secret for you to just hold in your whole life. You've known this.
Erle is big sad now. He says he loved Maurice like a superhero, but no one told him the truth, and that stinks.
You feel like you deserve the truth.
Why would I have to wait this long? Why would I have to wait this long? Who would have came, whoever would have came to me about it, whether it's her or Maurice, why would y'all come to me?
The reason why it's coming out now is that I can't live this life no more. It was happened to me. My mom was caught between 2 men.
Erle's girl Cynthia is not chill. She says Erle's acting different, and the kids feel it too. Then she yells at Mom big time.
We have a son and daughter together. Ever since he been going through this thing with his mother months ago when he found out, he's been distant with her, he's been distant with me, he's been distant with our children. The lie that she's been holding for almost 30 years, true enough, I can understand where Miss Jackie is coming from, but at the end of the day, you have to live with the decisions that you make.
Mom asks for a hug, and they cry like a sad movie. She says she loves him forever. Everyone claps like it's the end of a play.
She is a good person for my son. She's good. She's a good mother.
Maybe you needed to get that out, and maybe this court was just the place where you need to lay it on the table. With all of that said,
can I hug my son?
Of course you may hug your son, and then we can have the results. Man who has raised you for the past 29 years is not your biological father.
This court story started with total chaos. Monica brought her mom to figure out who her dad is, out of 13 possible guys. The court already tested 2 of them like it's a mystery game show.
Ms. Madrigal to court today because you claim she has no idea who your biological father is. You say your mother gave you a list of 13 possible men, and you are hoping to determine who your father is today.
Monica says her mom kept giving her names like she was picking from a hat. The list grew and got weirder each time. Her mom even joked, pick any man in Seattle.
The list came from my mom telling me over approximately a year, maybe a little longer. She would always just say, here's a name, here's a name. I think to her it seemed like it was a joke.
You couldn't narrow it down from 13?
The 13 that she's named is like 13 ghosts.
Monica says not having a dad made her feel super lost. Her mom didn't seem to care, saying, "You came from me, that's enough." Things got loud real quick.
I feel lost. I feel confused. I don't know who I am. I don't know my heritage. I don't know what I'm completely mixed with. I don't know where I came from. I don't know nothing for the family.
Matter.
But that's only half
Nobody
the story.
Else matters.
That's only half the story.
Can't no man raise me better than you can, even though it doesn't even matter.
You raised
so save
me?
it. Oh, I raised you.
No, you didn't. You weren't
Monica,
even there.
stop
So
it.
anyway.
Monica tried to forgive her mom using God stuff, but her mom snapped and called her the devil, like for real. The judge was like, did that just happen?
I have an ex that used to preach to me all the time about having to be close to my mom, and I wanted to be right with God. So therefore, she won't even
That's
allow.
a good one. Use God, you damn devil. Use God.
I'm the devil, man. You're the devil.
Because all this is unnecessary. It's all unnecessary. It really is. All this is for her to find out what she wants to know. That's what matters.
2 maybe dads were tested, Keith and Derek. Monica was like, nope, about Keith, said he was creepy. Time to bring in the guys.
Your statement to the court says that you've met the 2 out of the 13 that the court has administered tests to, Mr. Keith McCraney and Mr. Derek Smith.
It's an evil smile and a happy smile.
An evil smile and a happy smile. Well, who's the evil smile for?
Keith.
So I take it we don't care for him.
I hate him with a passion.
Keith said they had a 3-minute thing. 3 minutes. He didn't know Monica existed until he saw her years later.
We got together, she came over, she told me she thought I was sexy, whatever, good looking. We had sex, it was a 3-minute thing. 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
She confirmed it.
And nothing but the truth.
Okay.
Monica met Keith when she was 13 and didn't like him at all. She even called him ugly in court. The judge had to shut it down.
I was 13 and I was going into 14. I stayed the night over with him and his girlfriend and her kid. Come to find out that one of her kids was his child, but that she was in question at the time and they had to be tested years later.
Everyone.
I'll never forget, I told my mom, I said, gotta be kidding me. I said, Mom, this ugly, my dad.
Now, wait a minute.
Monica lost it and cried hard. She yelled that nobody understands her pain. The judge tried to calm her down.
These guys, everybody's attacking me like I'm the one that was laying down sleeping with people. I'm the one that was made.
Miss Myers.
Okay?
Miss Myers, look at me. Look at me.
Because I shouldn't have to go through this. I'm 26 years old with my own kid.
It doesn't matter because I'm your mama and I'm your daddy, and that's what I've been. So
No, you're not my daddy. You ain't my mama. You ain't
save it.
my daddy.
Save it.
Derek was chill and said he had a short thing with Monica's mom. He and Monica got along and hoped he was the dad. They even laughed about their big foreheads.
Around the age 19 to 20, we had a brief encounter of sex. And then one day I seen Samantha and she gave me a baby picture and told me that you're possibly the father of this child. And then I did not see her for quite a long time after that. One day I was coming out of a building. Samantha drove up with Monica in the backseat and said, there's your dad right there.
Derek is not the dad. Monica was crushed, but he still said he'd be there for her. It was super sweet and sad.
The DNA test results show that Mr. Smith, you are not Monica's father.
I never thought I'd have to hear that. I still love you, though.
It's okay.
I promise that.
Be there for you, okay?
Surprise.
It has been determined by this court that you are the father.
There it is.
The doctor that gave the procedure to deliver the baby, he handed me the baby and he looked at me. He said, "Are you sure this baby's yours?" And I looked at the doctor. I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Because this baby's white." I'm looking at him like, "What do you mean this baby's white?" This is a picture of Ileana when she was first born. And when the doctor made that comment.
After she got pregnant, a letter she sent them. Her ex that she was dealing with had contacted me on Facebook. He was basically saying like, "Yo, Bryant, Jasmine, does she have you on child support and stuff like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, she does. She's been having me on child support." He was like, "Well, that's crazy because I'm taking care of her too." So it's like...
This case kicks off like a soap opera with yelling under the surface. Mr. Portis says he's not the dad, and child support is ruining his life. Ms. Middlebrooks is like, "Yes, you are," and court gets messy fast.
Mr. Portis, you and your mother have petitioned the court for a DNA test because you are certain you are not the father of the defendant's daughter, Ava.
Correct.
You say your life has been ruined and need today's paternity results to set the record straight.
DNA tests. No one showed up when they were supposed to. Portis missed court, so boom, he's stuck paying. Jasmine missed too, and now everyone's confused.
Don't you have to get a DNA before you can be put on child support?
We went
You
together.
didn't show up to court twice.
It was once.
You paying child support for this baby?
Yes. Thousands of dollars.
But you say you've never had a DNA test.
No.
And that's because you had a court date.
And he missed.
So you were named
And
the
they
father by
established
default.
paternity. Yes.
Yep.
That's how it works.
True.
Portis says they weren't together when she got pregnant. Jasmine says they were still a thing. Then Facebook exposed a secret boyfriend. Oops.
But when she got pregnant, we stopped talking. We weren't talking at the time that she got pregnant. Like, she had hit me up and was like, hey, I'm pregnant and be prepared.
We were definitely together. We were definitely together.
No, we weren't, because I found out that she had another boyfriend. Because I looked on her Facebook and I seen her with this dude. And I'm like, who is this? And then she like, somebody I used to talk to.
Jasmine wrote a letter to her ex after getting pregnant. She says it was just friendly. Portis isn't buying it. Judge Lake gives them both the serious look.
After she got pregnant, a letter she sent them.
Wait a minute.
I sent the guy a letter telling him that I was pregnant, letting him know what was going on.
This is exactly why young people don't have no business making babies. You can't even tell the story to make no sense. Miss Middlebrooks, what was your relationship with this other guy?
We were dating.
Portis's mom jumps in and the yelling begins. Everyone's shouting like it's a family BBQ gone wrong. Judge Lake has to shut it all down.
Their relationship. I mean, when were they?
Did I have intercourse with you? Were I with you? No, I didn't think so. Wasn't nobody talking to you.
Hold on, ladies.
Lady.
Mr. Portis, tell me how you found out Miss Middlebrooks was pregnant.
She had told me.
What was your response?
I didn't really believe her at first.
Jasmine's ex messaged Portis on Facebook. Turns out he's been helping out too. Now Portis is like, what am I even paying for?
Her ex that she was dealing with had contacted me on Facebook. He was basically saying like, yo, Bryant, Jasmine, does she have you on child support and stuff like that? And I'm like, yeah, she does. She's been having me on child support. He was like, well, that's crazy because I'm taking care of her too. So it's like, just like an imbalance here.
Even Jasmine's aunt says she first said the ex was the dad. Jasmine says that's not true. Portis remembers her telling him to leave. This is a whole mess.
Yes.
Who did she tell you the father was?
At the time, the only person I knew was the ex.
Who did she say the father was?
She said the ex.
I already knew that.
Son.
I said the ex.
But I thought it was my son all along.
No, hold on. I could tell by the way you were telling that story that you were trying to be evasive about something.
But
Jasmine says Portis is all over the place. He didn't know missing court made him the legal dad. Judge Lake gives a quick law lesson.
That came later on down the line when she was 1. So
You
they
did
found
the child
out much
support a year later.
Yeah, they found out much before that he was the dad.
At some point you came clean.
Yes, not even long after that.
So did you let your ex raise the baby? Ava's too. Is he like he was at the hospital? You let him raise her?
Yes.
Portis has only seen his kid 4 times. His mom hasn't seen her at all. The judge says, y'all need to fix this.
So this child you've been paying child support for?
Only seen her 4 times in my life.
And I've never seen the baby. But I'm supposed to step up and be a grandmother.
I didn't ask you to step up. I want Brian to
You
the DNA test.
you messaged my phone talk about
What do I need
some
you
type
to
of
step
grandma
up
and
for?
this and that
What
and
do
the
I
other.
need? Yes, because you're not encouraging him to get the DNA test done.
I did.
Not continue to.
You backed out.
I did.
You
Then
encouraged
my
You
son.
backed out.
Even if Portis isn't the real dad, he still has to pay. It's too late to fight it. He says he's learning the hard way.
There's still a very real possibility you're Ava's father.
Yes.
And if you're not, you may not be able to get yourself off child support because you may have waited too long. And the court will follow what is in the best interest of the child. Sometimes we have to learn lessons the hard way.
You're right, Your Honor.
Judge opens the envelope with everyone holding their breath. Surprise.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Portis, you are the father. I told you.
Starts off like a Lego to the foot, pure pain. Mr. Pace is crying over Prince, thinking he's the dad. Plot twist. His girl may be hooked up with his best bud.
Mr. Pace, you say you will be crushed today if DNA results reveal you are not biological father of your son. You maintain that the defendant betrayed you by cheating with Prince's second possible father, your best friend.
Yes, Your Honor.
They met because of short shorts and fast moves. She moves in with him and his BFF, then finds out she's pregnant. Mr. Pace thinks he's the dad, and they move out together.
Well, we met while I was actually driving. It was a hot day. She had on short shorts. I'm a leg man.
Okay.
I had a conversation. I ended up getting her phone number. We went out on a few dates. We kind of bonded real quick. She ended up moving in with me and Mr. Randolph. Shortly after her moving in, she became pregnant.
Drama time. She felt lonely, had one drunk night, and oops, ended up with Mr. Randolph. Says it was a one-time thing. But guess how Mr. Pace found out?
I wouldn't necessarily call it a love triangle because the situation with me and Randolph only happened once. Upon me being in the house with Byron, the thing is, he works at night. I kind of took that as a feeling of neglect. The situation with me and Randolph was a mistake I think I ever made because I've never intentionally set out to hurt Byron.
Big fight, she drops the baby bomb. Maybe your best friend's the dad. Randolph confirms it. Mr. Pace keeps cool and asks for a DNA test.
We were actually in a heated argument at the time that it occurred, but it kind of just got blurted out to me that Mr. Randolph could be a potential father for Prince.
And just out of the blue, she yells, and by the way, your best friend could be Prince's father?
Correct.
Randolph's excuse? Drunk and dumb. Doesn't even know if protection was used. Mr. Pace is left dealing with hot garbage nachos level of nonsense.
I wasn't in the right state of mind. We both was intoxicated. He was out promoting clubs. She used to come home from the club intoxicated, looking for him. He's not there. Me and her talk.
And so was this sex unprotected?
Honestly, Your Honor, I was intoxicated and I really don't recall.
Now it's the whose nose is it games. Miss Fobbs kept the secret for years, scared to tell. Heavy stuff, but Mr. Pace has always been the dad figure.
Yeah, he looks like Byron more than he looks like Randolph.
I see my nose a little, as well as maybe my upper lip a tad bit. The nose kind of flares out like mine.
Was it a secret you were holding and during the argument you just had to let it out?
Yeah.
Mr. Pace feels torn seeing them both daily. Miss Fobbs wants to fix everything and stay a family. She's hoping love wins over betrayal.
Well, it's been difficult. I love her, but it's just been difficult when you're caught between two people that you care about. But you still have doubts. Like I say, I see this man on a daily basis as well as I see her on a daily basis. So when you have a small thought in the back of your head that this may have occurred and you don't have the initial proof to find out that it's not true.
Boom, DNA test says.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Pace, you are not his father.
This whole thing started like a cartoon fight with big drama. Mr. Kidd says he got tricked into being a dad, and Ms. Rawlings says nope, he can't even have babies. And just like that, we're off to the races.
You say Ms. Rawlings is a manipulative user who convinced you that you were the father of her son, Nathaniel, then changed her mind when someone better came along. You and your mother say Ms. Rawlings' mind games have wreaked emotional havoc on your family, and you are 100% positive you are her son's father.
This love story is more like a messy sandwich. She was with Kidd, then another guy, back and forth like a seesaw. Sounds like a baby mystery was already cooking.
How it happened was we met through a mutual friend. I didn't know anything about Mr. Kidd. Starting off, my mutual friend ended up leaving, and the situation that I was in, I didn't have anywhere to go. Everything progressed and everything started off. Somehow another female came into the picture, and I went off and did my own thing and was dealing with him and another gentleman also.
Now we're talking about blood and science and maybe magic. She says Kidd told her a baby with him would be danger zone, but his mom says that's not how blood works.
When I found out I was pregnant, Mr. Kidd told me himself that he had some type of rare form of blood disease and that me and his child would die if I was pregnant by him.
It's not a rare blood disease. I am ARH negative and he is ARH negative. If she's RH positive and doesn't get the necessity shot during the pregnancy, it could prevent her from having future children or that child could pass away.
Grandma saw a baby pic and went full detective mode. She was like, that's my baby, even though it wasn't hers yet. Then she met him and fell in love instantly.
I got a phone call from my daughter and she said, Mom, you need to look at this picture. She sent me a picture of the baby. I was like, who got my son's baby pictures? She said, that's not your son. I said, yes, that is. I gave birth to him. I know who he is. So I contacted his friend who gave me Miss Rawlings' number. I called her and asked, we talked for a couple weeks and I asked if I could see the baby and she said yes.
They pulled out old pics like it was a baby twin contest. Grandma swore he had her lips and everyone laughed. The judge was like, this is getting good.
And when you look at these pictures, what do you see?
My son.
Your son on the left, and that's Nathaniel on the right. And you really believe, as you look at those pictures, that's your grandson. And as we take a look at the second picture, Kidd is a teen, and Nathaniel.
Oh, he has my lips.
You think they look exactly alike, minus your lips, those are your lips.
He's got my lips.
Even if she thought Kidd wasn't the dad, she let his mom visit. She wanted the baby to have family love. That made the courtroom all soft and mushy.
Me being me as a mother, and I wasn't able to grow up with my father. If Mr. Kidd can't see the moments that he's missing, at least his mom will be able to have them, and his family has some choice.
Here at the defendant podium, you say you know Mr. Kidd is not your child's biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
Grandma says she was never told no, you're not grandma. They shared baby pics and stories like a real fam. But now the other guy is sneaking into the story.
I've never one time been told I wasn't the grandmother. She did not ever say. She said it's a possibility between this one guy and my son. And as I sent her picture, she's like, yes, I believe it's Kevin.
Did the other guy, the other potential father, did he ever acknowledge that he could be the father or express interest in being in Nathaniel's life?
Yes, he did, because he was the one that actually told me to get a test.
The other dude showed up at the hospital like it was his baby. His whole family thought so too, but no one signed the baby papers.
The other guy actually came to the hospital after I gave birth to Nathaniel, and they instantly, you seen it in his face and in Nathaniel's face, his face.
The other guy?
Yes, because he.
Did he sign the birth certificate?
No, because I didn't have my ID with me at the time.
So there's no one listed as father on Nathaniel's birth certificate?
No, you're not.
Grandma got baby duty for a whole month. Mom wrote a note like, here, you watch him, I gotta work. Judge read it like it was from a movie.
She gave me the baby for a period of time with a
How long?
I had him for a month and a couple days. I got a handwritten letter of custody.
Because of the fact that I had got a job that was paying $10 an hour, and I didn't have anybody to watch him. At the same time, trying to figure out who's going to watch my child and me not.
A real doctor came in to clear up the baby-making mystery. She said kid might have had a sick thing as a kid, but it doesn't mean he can't be a dad. Boom, science drop.
So I think there's two separate issues here. There was an issue about Rh blood incompatibility.
Yes.
And that has to do with a mother and a baby. And if there's different blood types between the father of the baby, positive and negative. He had a separate issue, which was a childhood infection, repeated urinary tract infections to STIs like gonorrhea and chlamydia. Those can cause inflammation in the testicles.
Judge read the test and boom.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Kidd, you are the father.
This whole thing kicks off wild. Judge says it's Beto v. Bolton, and Ms. Beto's mad over a DNA test. She says it ruined everything, and we just getting started.
Ms. Beto, you say you were furious when the defendant asked you for a DNA test on your 7-month-old daughter, Ileana. Now you claim that request has broken up your happy home.
Bolton been here before and found out he wasn't the dad. He was hurt, but moved on. Now here again. Baby drama seems to follow this guy.
Mr. Bolton, you are not his father. Mr. Bolton, so what has happened since you were last here?
Since last time I was in court, I was very devastated to find out the news about the young boy not being mine. When the baby was born, I cut the umbilical cord, the doctors wiped the baby off, and they gave Miss Beto the baby.
Doctor handed him the baby and said, "You sure this one's yours?" Like, bruh. What? Bolton been shook ever since.
The doctor that gave the procedure to deliver the baby, he handed me the baby and he looked at me. He said, "Are you sure this baby's yours?" And I looked at the doctor. I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Because this baby's white." I'm looking at him like, "What do you mean this baby's white?" This is a picture of Ileana when she was first born. And when the doctor made that comment,
she said her family got all types of skin and eye colors. Basically, don't judge the baby by her shade. But Bolton still got questioned.
We're mixed. I'm Dominican and black. People in my family have different color eyes. My eyes are hazel. My father's eyes are green. He told me that when he was a young boy, when he was a baby, as a matter of fact, his eyes were blue and then they turned green because people continuously said, "Oh, she's white. Oh my God, she's so white."
When the doctor asks you, before congratulations,
people keep saying, "She too light to be yours." Even the boss and grocery folks asked him. The man's whole life turned into a guessing game.
Your Honor, maybe 2 weeks when Ileana came home, the same boss that we both work for him, he came to the house and brought a stroller to the home as a gift. And he's from Alabama, he's country guy, But he looked at the baby, and he's like, "Rico, this baby yours?" I look at him like, "What you mean?" He says, "This baby's white."
Beto says, yeah, she slept with someone else. But it was after Bolton cheated first. Still, now things messy.
Have you slept with anybody else?
We actually broke up last year around August, and it was due to infidelity on his behalf.
Before, I got a couple buddies I hang out with. They do things on the side.
Your Honor,
now,
I saw
my
the texts
association
from the
being with
females.
that point, well, I should cheat just to make you happy. Because this is what you're doing. You put pressure on me.
They tried getting back together, but then, bam, texts from the other guy, plus baby pics that looked a little too familiar. Bolton's radar going off.
When she came back together, we got together. We moved back in the same house together. But in the midst of this, she's still going out there to her family's house. Middle of the night, I pick up the phone. Text messages from this guy. So I have reason to believe, like, okay, you tell me you start messing with him, I still think that you're still with him.
He saw text messages from the guy. He never saw me respond.
He shows pics like he's on a baby detective show. Says both babies look like twins. Everybody's confused now.
His daughter looks like my daughter.
But how often is it that babies can look alike?
I just want to show you this evidence right here.
But I don't think she looks like the other man's baby.
Okay, that's Ileana, and that's me. Ileana's pink, Caucasian, white, and you see me.
Really?
I'm brown, no blue eye. The only thing I see is a nose.
If he felt like that, Your Honor, why stay for 7 months?
He's like, no baby in 5 years, then boom. Baby right after breakup? The math ain't mathing for him. Dude is suspicious.
When she left, her and this other guy was messing around. When she came back around, we was living together. I feel like, maybe she's still been messing with this guy. Because all of a sudden, like she said, we've been together 5 years. It's the first time she ever got pregnant. She's coming back around, boom, baby. Like, what's going on?
They play a cute baby video. He looks like a proud papa, but doubt's still creeping in.
You even submitted a video. It really shows how committed he is to her.
Say hello. Bye-bye. See y'all later. I love Ileana.
Judge drops the truth.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Bolton, you are her father.
But what I tell you?
This whole thing starts off super deep, like sad right away. Ms. Walker wants to know if her son's baby is really her grandson. She's got love to give, but needs the truth first.
Ms. Walker, you say before your son Delante's tragic death, he had doubts that he had fathered the defendant's 1-year-old son, Delante Royal. You claim you need today's DNA results so you can embrace this child as your grandson.
Here's where the drama drops. Text messages from another guy. Delante saw them and got real suspicious. That's when he started doubting the baby was his.
He seen text messages between her and a guy around the time when she conceived. He had doubts. One morning, I overhear them arguing. They got the puppy love going on. I hear them arguing. I didn't think nothing of it. So it got louder than usual. So I go in there, I'm like, what's going on? Mom, she's H, she's this, she's that. 3 months pregnant at this time.
At first, everybody was happy like it was a baby party. They even called the mom Ladybug, which is kind of cute. Nobody expected drama was coming soon.
The moment we found out we was pregnant, he told me before that I was pregnant even before. We got to the place, he was excited, she was excited.
When they told me, my son came to me, he said, Mom, what if I tell you that I got a baby on the way? With who? Ladybug. I'm like, okay. So I immediately get on the phone with her. We're gonna go take a test today. We went and took the test, came back positive. We all were happy.
Delante said he was cool about the baby, then secretly told his mom he wasn't sure. He didn't want to ruin the mood at the hospital, but inside, he still needed answers.
The day of the birth, we're all in there, we're all happy. It was her, kissed the baby on the forehead and everything. She asked him, she said, Delante, do you wanna, when she asked him, did he want a DNA test? He looked around, seen her family members, he told her, but then later on that day, he looked at me and Mom said, yes, I need a DNA test.
Oh.
Turns out he didn't sign the papers because he didn't have his ID, but his mom thinks he just didn't want to. So now we're all like, what's really up?
Why he didn't sign a birth certificate, Your Honor?
He didn't sign it because he didn't have his ID. When we kept telling him he was being irresponsible, that was not my fault. He even got his dad's first name and middle name. Would have gave him his last name, but he did not have that ID. So that was not my fault. I believe it.
You just thought he was being irresponsible,
yes.
And he just forgot it. It was so much going on.
Yes.
3 weeks later, Delante passed away. Ms. Walker held on tight to the baby and mom, but that old doubt didn't go away.
So how soon after baby Delante was born did your son unfortunately pass away?
3 weeks.
Oh.
I drone to him and Ladybug, because that's all I had left, He was my oldest child, but he was still my baby. So I needed that comfort.
Even with love in her heart, Ms. Walker couldn't shake the doubt. She started remembering all the stuff her son said. Ms. Royal was like, no way, he loved that baby.
I think time, me dealing with my son's death, and then me remembering his doubts. Because I blocked it out, because I was dealing with my son's death. The doubts came back.
When she said they had doubts, I never knew. Cause, I kept asking for the DNA test. I had no problem with me. He always say, my boy, my boy.
Boom, DNA test says.
The percentage of relatedness between Ms. Monique Walker and Delante Royal is 99.99% you are related.
This case starts like a mess from the jump. Ms. Nesbitt says Mr. Henderson is the dad, but he's like, nah, probably the neighbors. And boom, the baby drama begins.
You are suing to prove to Mr. Henderson that he is the father of your 7-month-old daughter, Zian. Say that when the results prove you right, you expect Mr. Henderson to step up. Mr. Henderson, you claim your case is simple. You say Ms. Nesbitt cheated on you with her neighbor during the window of conception, and he is Zian's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Dude signed the birth certificate without her knowing. She told him not to, but he snuck down like a secret spy and did it anyway. Now he's all confused about being the dad.
You know that's your child. You've been knowing from the beginning. You signed the birth certificate. You know the baby yours.
Yes, I did because
He did what?
I went downstairs to go get my birth certificate and his name was on there. I told him not to put his name on there because I had doubts from the beginning, but he snuck anyways and signed his name on there.
You had asked him previously not to sign it because you had doubts yourself.
Judge Lake's like, bro, you signed it. You're the dad. Mr. Henderson acts like it was just a maybe sign, but this ain't Netflix. It's real life.
When you sign a birth certificate at a hospital, you are acknowledging paternity legally. So when you signed your name, you said, I'm the father, I'm responsible, I'm gonna take care of this child.
Yes, Your Honor.
So why are you not taking care of the child and only bought some diapers?
She talking about the baby's not mine, Your Honor. I can't be no man that's taking care of another man's baby.
She got mad and yelled the baby might be the neighbor's. He looked shocked. But wait, there's more crazy coming.
Because she kept coming to me like, this not your baby, LaDon. Like, I came in the house one night drunk because I came in late. But I come in, she get the argument, oh, she's not yours. That's why she's not your baby. She could be Mr. Brown.
Did you say that?
Yes, Your Honor. I did it out of angry. I was really angry
She
when
said
I
it
said
several times, Your Honor. Several times.
She says he slept with his cousin and now she's hurt. He goes, that was before you. Like that helps. This whole thing's wild.
He had sex with his cousin and I felt very vulnerable about it.
Yes, I did, but that was before her. She already knew about that.
You know, I received the inbox telling me she said that she had sex with my little black car and they had a baby. And I felt very astounded about it. So, I felt...
She told you before that when you were sitting in the car with your friend.
You got her
Yes,
pregnant.
it is. It's true, Your Honor.
She got in a fight with Mr. Henderson, and the neighbor slid in to give her a massage. That massage turned into a whole situation. She got in a fight with Mr. Henderson, and the neighbor slid in to give her a massage. That massage turned into a whole situation. 2 weeks later, baby on the way.
Well, me and Mr. Henderson, we got into an argument and it led in my apartment hallway and Mr. Brown seen. So he came to my door, he comforted me and it led off to him coming in, giving me a massage and led off to me, yes, one night. And 2 weeks later, I ended up pregnant and I told Mr. Henderson.
She also say I had slept with Mr. Brown?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, she did?
She told me she used the condom, Your Honor.
Neighbor Mr. Brown shows up like, yeah, we did it once. He says they kept texting using fake names like Nancy. This just keeps getting messier.
I first met her, she had moved to my apartment building a couple doors down. I used to always flirt with her, to blink an eye at her, you know what I'm saying? Because she was a cute girl, you know?
But you did have a sexual encounter with her.
Yeah, one time.
It was just like birthday sex, that was about it.
It wasn't more that she used to always hit me up and text me and all that stuff. I used to for names like
It was
this
just
Tracy,
one time.
Nancy.
Your Honor, she's telling me that it was more than one.
He says they used protection, but maybe it busted. Then he's like, she said the baby's not mine. Sir, pick a story.
You only had sex the one time?
Just that one night on her birthday when her and him
And the
got into
protection
it.
broke?
I don't remember protection broke. I was buzzing a little bit, but I don't remember no protection broke. You know what I'm saying? Reminds you, I just came there to comfort her that one night because them two had got into it. So I had went down there, comforted her one night, gave her a little massage places, and you know what happened after that.
Now all of them are just yelling and bringing up Facebook posts. Nobody knows anything for sure. Judge Lake got to clean this mess up.
And then when they get into it, you know what I'm saying? She write little things on Facebook, you know what I'm saying? And then when I hit her up, as soon as I get on the phone with her, I'll see her put something on Facebook and it be about me.
So you think she's trying to maintain contact with you, stay close to you because there's a potential you may be the child's father?
Face it, that you are the father. He looks just like
I'm not about to step up to the plate if you keep telling me it's Mr. Brown's child.
Big moment.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Brown, you are not her father.
Oh!